Y'all, this video finna be an hour long. I just know it. It's fine.
It's not that I don't want you here. It's something about the way you stare.
What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. If this is your very first time here. So today, y'all, we have a very chill and cozy setting. Because we are just about to do an updated Q&A. It has been a while since I've done a Q&A on my channel, and we got lots of new babes that have joined the Galore gang. I did ask you guys on Instagram what questions that you guys have, as well as in the comments of my last vlog. So I have a nice long list of questions, and I categorized them. So if you are here for a specific nosy reason, you can just go ahead and skip along the bottom to go to what you're looking for. We are just chilling, y'all. I got my glass of Cabernet in hand. She's a little on the full side, but it's fine. We got the candles lit. I have on my favorite scent, which is Vanilla Woods by the Seven Virtues, and we're about to answer some questions. I have on my robe, which is from Savage X Fenty. I don't think that they're selling it anymore. And by the way, did y'all see the Riri pregnant? I mean, it made my day yesterday. It made my day. Anyway, and then I have on my skim set as well. So we about to just kick it. So a lot of you guys asked me about my move to Atlanta. Y'all want the tea. It must be a lot of y'all in Atlanta. That's what I'm thinking. First question, are you still planning on moving to Atlanta, and why are you moving? I got at least 7 people asking me why am I moving. So yes, I am still planning on moving to Atlanta. Y'all, I'm gonna have to chill on the wine. It's my first time doing a video with wine, and I can't keep it out of my hand. And we only been sitting for 5 minutes. But yes, I am still moving to Atlanta. We are finally actually making a progress to making that move happen. My first step is filing my taxes, which is what I've really been waiting for. And then I'm applying for my loan next week. I'm so excited. So yes, it is coming. The reason why I'm moving to Atlanta, if you do not know, I did go to Spelman in Atlanta for college. And my plan initially was to stay in Atlanta. However, I had a baby. I was by myself. Her father was not who he is today back then. Let's just say that. So I had to come home because this is where I'm from. I'm from St. Louis. I live in St. Louis right now. And I needed my mother, I needed my sister, I needed my support system. So I came home. And I always told myself that I was gonna get back to Atlanta. Like 5-6 years back, her father and I were talking about going back to Atlanta, living back in Atlanta so that we can co-parent with her. He eventually found his way back there, but I just hadn't done it yet, you know, and the timing was never completely right. If I had my way, I would be living in LA. But as a single mother, I've had to prioritize other things. Atlanta is a close runner-up to that. So I am moving because I feel like not only is Amira's dad in Atlanta and we will be co-parenting, she has a little brother and a little sister and a stepsister. Like, she has a whole family down there. So that's one reason. Another reason is, like I said, I've always wanted to get back to Atlanta. So this is me moving back. And I feel like in general, it's a better place to do what I do as an influencer. I stick out like a sore thumb in St. Louis. I'm walking around with my camera, people staring at me. Like, it gets a little weird because they're not used to seeing it. Like, and if I'm out at a restaurant, I got my camera out, people will come up to me and be like, oh my goodness, so good to see someone in St. Louis doing this, and which is really great. And I hate for that reason that I'm leaving, because there are people now starting to do this, but it just makes me feel super uncomfortable sometimes. Like, and I know in Atlanta, people are not gonna be staring as much because there's lots of people vlogging. Someone asked, how does Amira feel about it? Amira is finally excited. She wasn't super excited at first because, you know, uprooting her life. She's used to just being with me. She's used to being around my mom, my sister, my family. So at first it was a little rough, but now she is very, very excited. Someone asked, how is the moving process going? We're at the beginning, so it's starting. Am I building or buying a new house? I am buying a new home. I would have loved to build, but like I said, I've had to wait to get my taxes done so that it shows 2 years at least of like my income as an influencer, so I can get what I want. Building wise just didn't make sense for me time wise, but I am praying to God that I do get a new construction because I'm single and I ain't got no man down there, and I ain't got time to be trying to figure out what's that noise happening in the ceiling. So yeah, I am looking for a new construction home that is already in the process of being built or just finished being built. A lot of y'all want to know, how am I planning to adjust in Atlanta without having my girlfriends, having the girls there, and not having my friends close by? They wanted me to let y'all know that they very much plan on being close by. They done already told me that they plan on being in Atlanta and, you know, being down there for weeks at a time and just coming through, you know, either one at a time or as a group. So you guys will see the girls in Atlanta. They are not gonna be completely away. Yeah, it's still gonna be, you know, hard just not having them there. Like, these are my friends from high school, so it's gonna be difficult, but I'm looking forward to making new friends in Atlanta, and then also continuing to foster those friendships. So like, you know, doing the trips and, you know, visiting each other here and there, me coming to St. Louis or them coming to see me, and we FaceTime and stuff all the time, you know, so I am not concerned about the girls. One of the last questions for my move is when am I planning on moving? Right now my timeline is I'm applying next week, and I am not leaving, like actually moving my stuff to Atlanta, until Amir is out of school in May. Preferably, you know, we close at least a month or two before that so I can order my furniture, you know, get all that going. But I cannot actually move out of St. Louis until my baby is out of school. So we looking at like the beginning of June. And last question about my move, am I going to collab with other Black female YouTubers in Atlanta? I do already have some communication with some of the other Black YouTubers, female YouTubers in ATL. I would definitely be open to collaborating with some girls, some of the girlies in Atlanta. All right, y'all, so now we got some personal questions. It's gonna get real personal, but you know, I'm okay with sharing personal information. Let me untie this, y'all, because I am getting hot. You hear me? This big old light beaming in my face, y'all, it is hot. That's why I knew I wanted to film this in my pajamas and not no real clothes, because I would be sweating like a maniac. All right, so personal questions. Some of them are super personal, some of them are not. So let's just run down the list. What did you do before YouTube? Before YouTube, I was a substitute teacher and an English teacher for some years after college. After that, I was struggling, because if you know, when you teach or you're a substitute teacher, you know you don't make that much money. I also worked in the school system in the special school district. So I worked in trade school, in a trade high school, and then also I was like a TA in like self-contained classrooms, mostly high school. I would not set foot into an elementary school. Y'all got me messed up, got a child at home. I ain't trying to see the kids at work. After that, I was a warranty rep for an HVAC company. But yeah, that was my full-time job. I answered phones, I did computer work. That's what I was doing when I quit my job. How exactly do you plan on knowing the man for you when you move to Atlanta? That's a good question, sis. Okay, so y'all know I'm a Christian, so I rely heavily on discernment and on what I feel God has for me finding me. I'm also at the point in my life where I ain't trying to waste no time. I'm not the type, I'm just not trying to waste time. Like, I have no interest in like going to Atlanta and just playing the field and dating a little bit here, dating a little bit here. I have no interest in that. Like, I'm a point in my life where I'm ready to be a wife. I would hope that the Lord is on the same page with me to the point where I can actually find my man quick. But you know, you never know what's gonna happen. I am very much reliant on God, and that he is going to put me in the path of my husband so he can find me. Once I get down there and I'm actually like actively dating, I plan on asking God, you know, somebody asks my number, give my number if I feel so, you know, if I have the discernment that they're cool or whatever. And then I'm gonna be praying about each and every man that I come in contact with, because I ain't trying to waste no more time, and I'm just not. What was my major at Spelman? I was an English major. I started off in poli-sci because I used to want to be a lawyer. Mostly because other people wanted me to be a lawyer versus me wanting to be a lawyer. Because once I got in that poli-sci class, y'all, I withdrew after day 2, or dropped it. It was still drop. I dropped it after day 2. I was like, this ain't for me. So I switched to English only because I know I could write well. I knew I liked to read. I knew I could speak well. And I was like, I could do so many different things with an English degree, so let me just be in English. And at the time, I was like, let's get into journalism. So I wanted to like be on the news and like, you know, be a correspondent. That type of vibe is what I wanted to do with my English degree. Obviously, I got out and started teaching, but that's beside the point. A lot of people want to know, where is Amira's dad? Is he still in her life? And how is co-parenting? They also asked, did you always have a healthy co-parenting relationship with my BD? If not, how did I combat that? So real quick, all about Amira's dad. Sips tea. Wine, actually. So Amira's dad is still in her life. He is very much active, as much as he can be, from Atlanta. He's still in her life. We are co-parenting from a distance right now. Once I get to Atlanta, we will be co-parenting within the same city, which I feel will be extremely good for my baby as she goes into her preteen and, you know, teenage years. At the beginning of having my baby, we did not do well co-parenting, even though we actually were always co-parenting from different cities. I think maybe it was one semester that we were in the same city with her. We never really were ever in the same city together, so we didn't have co-parenting opportunities in that way. But we've had some clashes of her, like, you know, going down there and things being done or said that I disagreed with, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we've had those, but we're at a completely new understanding now. We get along. His wife is great. I don't know how I would say I combated that. I feel like it's mostly understanding the other person's point of view and that everybody wasn't raised the way that you were raised. So when you come to a point where you guys have different opinions about things, you really have to not only have the mindset of working it out, but realize that this person believes this because this is how they were brought up, just like you believe what you believe because how you was brought up. So it's having that mutual understanding and then realizing who is the primary parent, because that's who's gonna have the last word. I'm just saying. But of course, once, you know, we are co-parenting in Atlanta, that's gonna change. We're gonna have lots of conversations. So that's another conversation for a different day that I actually don't plan on really getting into in the future because that's personal, but I feel like, you know, that's a little surface answer. All right, next personal questions. Y'all all up in my business. Is God working on my love life? You're so my friend in my head, and I want you to get married. Child, I want to get married too. You hear that, Lord? He knows. He knows. But yeah, first of all, so many of you guys say that I'm your friend in your head, and I freaking love that. Cause we besties, sis. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter that it's through a screen. It's fine. Let me see you in person. Act like I'm your bestie, okay? Is God working on my love life? I do not have a love life right now. So there's that. God right now is working on my love life with myself. That it has been great. This process of self-love and self-reflecting and I know y'all have seen the changes on the channel. That has come from just the journey that God has me on as he's preparing me for marriage and for dating. So I've just, you know, kind of had that be a reflection, have my content be a reflection of where I am in my life. Yeah, my love life right now is all about Maya. And I pray that, you know, soon after I move, that will change. That it will not only be about my love life with myself, but my love life with my person, or my mans, or whatever. But yeah, that's that. But yes, Maya is very much looking forward to being married and being a wife and doing that work, you know, with someone that I want to spend my entire life with. So, how is dating as a single mom? Do I have any fears? Yes, I got all the fears. One of the reasons why I stayed with my ex so long is because he had an amazing relationship with Amira. Amazing. And on top of that, we got connected through a mutual friend. So it's not like he was a random dude that I just didn't know. That I can never say this word, familiarity, English major. Me being familiar with him would also work in his favor because I do have a fear of just, you know, I have a little girl and just having a man around who I don't know everything about, and we're just gonna leave it there. Definitely have that fear. Also have a fear of dating someone for an extended amount of time and then feeling comfortable introducing them to my child and then it doesn't work out, or I don't like the vibe, or, you know, like, then I've wasted all that time. Like, that's another fear of mine. I definitely have fears, and the times that I have dated while I've had my baby, and I'm not talking about my relationship, just like talking to dudes here and there, she ain't met none of them. The only men my child has ever met was her father, obviously, and my ex, who I was with for almost 4 years. That's it. Because like I never wanted to be that type of parent or the type of mother that had men in and out of the house. She's meeting different guys, calling this, uncle that. I never want her to normalize that behavior. Because once you normalize that behavior, you feel like it's okay. Then, you know, that could be something that she does in the future in front of her children. And it's just not a good thing because you also don't know these people. You gotta trust people. These kids, we gotta protect them at all costs. Another reason why I rely on discernment from the Holy Spirit. Okay, because it ain't nothing like it. Advice on being single because you know your worth. I'll make this super quick. Stay single for sure until you find someone who is worthy of you and who treats you right. And that's not the easiest thing because that was one of my fears when I left my ex, because I'm just like, I don't want to start all over again. I'm 30 years old. I was 30 when I left him. And I'm just like, I don't want to be single, but I do know that I'm not getting what I'm worth here. I'm not being treated as highly as I should be. So I would say my biggest advice is to do the work within yourself, to realize that you are worth it, and to stay strong. And that's way easier said than done. But at the end of the day, you're gonna save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of time, a lot of, you know, confusion, child, up all night worrying about some man. Girl, bye. Okay? We not finna be doing that in 2022 and onward, okay? I feel like you definitely need to know your worth, and it's okay if you're single until you find what you're looking for in someone who pays attention to what you are worth. Somebody said, I love your wig, baby. Tell me where it's from, provide a link. If you guys don't realize, almost every video that I wear this wig, I link it in the description box, but I'm gonna say it now. It is from Wow African. They actually got a few pictures of me on the website, so the link the link is in the description box for this wig. It's from Wow African. It is a kinky straight bob, and it was a little longer when I purchased it. I have cut it a little bit, at least about that much, but it is a bobbed wig. So how did you move on from your past relationship? How did you finally decide it was done? I actually, we're not gonna make this long, y'all. This video finna be an hour long. I just know it. It's fine. So with my ex, about a year before I actually finished it, like completely, we had the biggest argument, y'all. He was very emotionally unavailable, and I'm very emotional, talkative, you know, like I get sit out, okay? I wanna talk. And so I had reached my breaking point, and we had this huge argument to the point where I was livid. Like I was screaming, I was throwing pillows, like it was terrible. and the root of the argument was I was trying to get him to talk to me, like say something, like communicate with me, listen to what I'm saying, like act like you care. I just lost it. From that moment on, that was December 2018, it was just downhill from there. That's when I decided this is probably not it for me. It took me a year to leave, to December 2019. Now I did break up with him the summer of 2019, and then he worked really hard to get me back. I accepted him back because with the promise to change, didn't unchange, went right back, and then I finally left for good December 2019. That was what it was for me. Like I had reached my breaking point, and sometimes you gotta reach your breaking point before you even know your worth, because from that point on I was asking him for breaks like every couple months. Like I was tapped out. I was done. I tapped out. I also wanted to continue trying. The fear of being alone, the fear of starting over. I'm 30, I want to be married, woo woo woo, all this crap, right? Kind of kept me going for the next year. But I realized that I was worth more and that I deserved more, and that allowed me to finally put my foot down for myself and get out of that situation. So how and why did you decide to be celibate before marriage? Sips wine. So obviously I'm a Christian woman, and I do believe that the way of the Lord is to, you know, save your body, which is a temple of God, for your husband. Obviously, I just got saved for real, early summer 2020. So, you know, I had my my moments, had my fun, if you want to put it that way. But once I got serious about God and I got saved, that's when I decided that's what I was going to do. I'm going to be completely honest. I got saved summer of 2020, but definitely failed in that way. I'm going to say 3 times since then. You know, just not being strong enough, not being in my word, not really, you know, being a strong enough woman to hold on to that standard for myself. And I failed. However, a sister been going strong, so we in there. I decided that because I feel that that's what God wants out of me, and I have every intent in my life to please God right now. If it does not please God, I don't want it. And that's where I am. So that's why I made that decision. And it got nothing to do with, I think my man gonna stay. Because I had somebody also in the same question. She brought up Megan Good. Says Megan Good did it. It didn't work out for her. So what's the point? Because it's not about getting a man and keeping a man. To me, at least. It's about honoring God. Sis, if your kid's in the room, put him in the other room for about 2 minutes. What if you and your man are not sexually compatible? You wouldn't find that out until your wedding night. This is the truth. And if I'm being completely honest, that is a concern of mine. Now, had it been how the Lord wanted it to be, everybody be virgins, you know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be a concern because nobody knows what it's like in the first place. But unfortunately, I do know what it's like. So I do have my preferences of how I would like that situation to go. But I would have to say, I'm trusting God. I feel like God knows the desires of our hearts. God created sex. So you doggone right, he knows the kind of sex we want or like if we're not a virgin. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows what's going to please us. He knows what we care about. And I totally believe that God shows up in my life in some of these smallest ways that you would think God don't want to be bothered with. You hear me? But he cares. And I feel as though God is going to align me with the man that has the goods that I need. Period. You can bring your kids back in now because that's all I got to say about that. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just hoping and praying that God has me on his mind in every way when I cross paths with my husband. Do I think that men approach me differently now that I dress different? He said, I understand that you're dressing ultimately for you and not for men, but I'm curious. So you guys know that I, have voiced many times that I have adapted more of a modest dress lately, like the past few months, 4 or 5 months or so, where I used to show a lot more skin. Trust me, I ain't gonna delete the videos. Go back to about last summer and past. Your girl have it all hanging out. I mean, I just wasn't a stranger to showing skin, and that's always been something that I was okay with, I would say that I do feel like men approach me differently now. I get a different type of man. I typically won't get like the thuggish dudes a lot now. Like I'll get more grown men. I would feel it's more men that are on the same mindset as me, same path as me, a little bit more established. Some men that are older. It's definitely a difference. The little boys pass me up now, and I likes that. I like it. Let me see what's next, y'all. Y'all, this is gonna be a long video. It's okay, it's fine. We just hanging out, you're at work, you got your AirPods in, you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or you at home, it's fine. Balancing motherhood, filming content, and finding time to cater to myself. How do I do it? Time management, I would say, is number one for me with that. I still struggle to have a schedule for myself and actually having the structure in my life, trying every day to be better than the day before. But as far as balancing motherhood, I try to be done with everything work-wise by the time my baby gets home from school, because I want to pour into her. I want to make sure that I'm there for her, hang out with her, or if I'm helping her with her homework or we're cooking together, whatever, I like to be able to dedicate most of my evening to my daughter from the time she gets home to the time she goes to bed. Right now, obviously I'm not dating or anything like that, so that is another thing, but and I'm gonna be completely honest, I am an influencer, I'm a YouTuber, I am a full-time YouTuber, which we're gonna get into influencer stuff here in a minute, but my days are my own. So it is a little easier for me to cater to myself during that time that I have alone when my daughter is at school. Whereas it's a little bit more difficult for women who do work 9 to 5. Been there, done that. It was hard balancing all of this. So I'm gonna speak from that place. That was hard. Then I had a man too, and I was in school getting my master's degree. Child. That was rough. And I would have to say, I did not cater to myself back then. It was hard. But you have to be intentional, and it has to mean enough to you for you to actually carve out the time to do it for yourself. Even if it's at night when your kids are in the bed and you got 15 minutes to do whatever you want. If you are able to do that, you'll fall in love with that time you had and be able to make it a priority for yourself. Okay, we got a few little quick ones before we get into influencer things. Favorite drink to order when I'm going out? Long Island Top Shelf. Okay. Or I'll get some version of like a lemon drop as well. But I ain't crazy about vodka, so that's about the only thing I would drink with vodka in it. How did you find your style? I'm struggling to find mine, but I think it's similar to yours. My style developed. Sometimes you gotta let it develop. You can't just pick, oh, I like that, oh, I like that. It develops with you as a person. If you guys watch my vlog from a year or two ago, I was very much different. My style was a little bit different. It still had some hints of where I am now, but with me growing as a woman and falling more in love with and more accepting of who I am and what I like, it kind of has developed what my style is. So think about what that means for you. Most used / favorite luxury purchase. Right now, my most used purchase is my cassette bag, my Bottega cassette bag. I wear that bag a lot. But that's why I bought it. I wanted a like everyday black bag that can go with everything. So I absolutely love that bag. But I would say my favorite luxury purchase, anything Chanel, baby. I love Chanel. So my Chanel earrings, my Chanel studs, which I'm about to buy some more because I have been horrible at taking care of those. And then my Chanel boy bag. Y'all know I got it in a cream white color. It is top tier. It has been very hard to clean. So if you want to get one of those, baby, be ready. Don't wear it a lot. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Useful resources that help me on my feminine journey and growing my YouTube platform. We'll talk about the YouTube platform here in a minute, but as far as my feminine journey is concerned, I love certain channels that have kind of helped me to figure out what femininity in my journey means for me. I will go ahead and link them in the description box. So in the description box, there will be a section of like Instagram pages as well as YouTube channels that have helped me to develop on my journey. And what am I most excited for in the future? I am most excited, number one, for something that's happening this year, which is owning my first home. Very excited to just get what I want and to move to a different city and just, you know, start a new life. Also, I'm most excited to start my own brand. I don't know if you guys know, but I do plan on starting my own brand within the next like 4 or 5 years. So I'm extremely excited about that and looking forward to that. Last question on the personal list. If I could choose any career, what would it be? Besides what I do, I think. Yeah, any other career, what would it be? It used to be I would want to be a singer, but that is no longer. Once I started prioritizing parenting is when I stopped wanting to be a singer, on top of losing my confidence. So I'm like, I ain't about to be just touring and doing all this stuff and I'll be able to raise my own child. Like, nah. But that's a good question. Now that I know I like being in front of the camera, I think I would choose to be in journalism, like I mentioned before. I would have chose to be on television and do journalism and like be a correspondent or, you know, something like that. I would love to do that. Or an actress. I can't act, I don't think. We gonna see one day. Claiming that. But I would love to be an actress as well, I think. Not crazy about memorizing lines, but you know, I'll get over that. Alrighty, so what is next? Influencer stuff. Let's talk about being an influencer. How did you start being an influencer, YouTuber influencer? I started by just starting my channel, just like anyone else. 0 subscribers, 0 followers, all of that. My ex really encouraged me to upload that first video. It was consistency from there, that's how it started. And I was a makeup artist, and everybody used to be like, why don't you have your own channel? Because that's when, like, you know, the OGs was popping. You know, Shayla and Jackie was doing the makeup videos and stuff at the time. It's My Ray Ray, like all of them were super, super popular. And people was like, what? And that's actually how I learned makeup, by watching them. And it was like, why you don't start your own channel? So I worked up the nerve and I finally did it. First video was New Year's Eve, 2017. That video is no longer available to watch, so don't even try to find it. Cause it's embarrassing. How long was it until brands started reaching out to pay you? My first brand deal was with Instagram, and I had about 20,000, I'm gonna say about 20,000 followers. My Instagram, when I did makeup, it started to take off. I did lots of videos. Shout out, my very first collab, like sponsored ad on Instagram, was with NARS. Man, you talking about a good day. I was so happy when I got that email. Oh my gosh. Shout out to NARS. Love y'all. How do you suggest getting into vlogging, and what camera do I use for vlogs? I use a Sony ZV-1. It is made specifically for vloggers. Absolutely love that camera. Such high quality, and it's not super, super expensive. It's like $600, $700. We'll make sure I link that below. Advice to get into vlogging: don't start with vlogging. It is extremely hard if you are not, I'm sorry to say, light skinned and pretty and skinny or got an amazing body to just do a vlog and take off. And I'm just gonna be completely honest with y'all. Another question on here was advice for like a first video idea, and this goes along with this. My biggest advice to a new YouTuber is to create content that adds value to people's lives. If you got a question and you get on YouTube and you search it, and they're giving you the answer, you don't care how many followers they got. People are very programmed right now to flock towards people who have a big following. But if you are giving information and you doing it funny, you have a good personality, or you are engaging, your editing is engaging, whatever it may be, people don't care. And if you help them, they will follow you if you continue to make content that will help them. So that's my first thing. Like for me, I was making makeup content that was helping people. It wasn't me doing vlogs. I didn't start vlogging until I was at least 2.5 years into my YouTube journey. And I had a following. I was in the hundreds of thousands by that point. As the first video, I would recommend making something that is very helpful for people. After you have a following, then I would say get into vlogging. Even though lifestyle is very popular right now, a lot of girls will only flock to people who already have a following, and that's just the truth. So what advice do you have for new YouTubers or content creators? Like I just said, make valuable content. Also, decide on a schedule that you can stay consistent, because consistency is everything. Everything, okay? You gotta keep pushing out these videos, because you never know which one is gonna go crazy, or people are gonna pick up, or that YouTube is gonna push out. And you don't want people to forget about you. Not only will they forget about you, but the algorithm will forget about you as well. Somebody said, I know you quit your job to focus on your channel. How was it for you financially? Did I save money first? Was I already making money from my channel? Because they want to make a YouTube channel, makeup channel, and they don't know what point you should be able to just focus on your channel. Okay, so I would say, number one, yes, I did have money saved. How much money did I have saved? I'm gonna say I had about $10,000 saved. So yes, I was making money from my channel. I was monetized by that point, but I was making money through my sponsorships. But at that time, they were like $500 here, $800 there, $300 here. I was to the point where I was making consistent money. And then, if you know my story, you know my channel kind of just blew up overnight. Meaning like within a couple months, I jumped from 7,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers. So the deals start rolling in. I was making more money. Like, it was to the point where within the next 30 days, 30 stacks was gonna hit my account. And that's when I quit my job. Cause I was like, okay, this don't make no sense that I'm still sitting here waiting for this $2,000 every 2 weeks, when this is lucrative. Like, I'm doing this is happening, you know? So I would say definitely wait until not only are you bringing in consistent income that's enough or probably even more than enough to finance your life, but also make sure you have a nice amount of money saved just in case things go opposite direction, so that you're good for a nice amount of time, just in case things go left. And it really doesn't have to do with your subscriber count. It's more has to do with your engagement. How many views are you getting? How many likes are you getting? That matters more to brands than the actual number of followers or subscribers you have. What does it take to be a successful content creator? I would say that it takes consistency, and it takes being in love with what you do. Because number one, most of us who create content and start a channel are not gonna get a penny at least 2 to 3 years in. Most people are gonna struggle to get to where they need to be to even make any money, be monetized and or make money from brand sponsorships. So when you love what you do, it feels less like a job, or you're in it. If you're in it for the money, it's gonna be hard to keep that up. So I would say consistency, make sure you love what you do, make sure you love the hustle of this. And if you're consistent, it's a weekly hustle. So I would say that's what you need to be successful, for sure. What keeps me motivated? For me, my motivation is my baby girl. I love the idea, of course, of being financially stable, being able to live the life that I love and that I want on a daily basis, spend my days how I would like to. That's motivation for me as well. But mostly it's my baby. I want to be able to pay for her college tuition if she goes to college. I want to be able to give her a great start in life. I want her to be able to not be limited by money. You know what I'm saying? Like in life, because that's something I was limited in life, and I don't want that for her. What do I love most about YouTube? I love the fact that I pretty much can create the life that I want by helping other people. I have a big heart, and I always love others, and I love the fact that I'm able to inspire others. That's what I love the most about what I do. Like that's another thing, motivation wise, that gets me up out the bed. Okay, y'all get me up out the bed. Y'all get me up out the bed. Like, just to know that there are people looking forward to my content, or people that feel inspired by me that I've seen from comments and DMs. I'm always gonna show up for y'all. Even if I don't want to show up for myself, I'm gonna show up for you guys. All right, y'all, so we are going to move on to some self-love and advice questions that I got from you guys. Where was I when I was 23 years old? 23, that is the year I graduated from college. I graduated a year late because obviously I had a baby in college. I was in my last year in Spelman. I was living in an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment with my baby girl in Atlanta, struggling on food stamps, on welfare. I dedicated that whole semester to losing 25 pounds because I wasn't doing nothing else. I wasn't dating. I didn't have no family, no friends down there. All my friends had already graduated. I was by myself. I lost weight. I was pouring into my baby girl. She was 2 at the time. Oh my God, I remember being in that apartment, y'all. I remember being in the bathroom and just closing the door and crying so hard. And she'd be knocking, mommy, y'all. I could tell you some stories, but anyway. But I graduated when I was 23, and then I moved back home with my mom. I was with my mom for a year before I got my own apartment at 24. So that's where I was when I was 23 years old. And when I got my own apartment, I had started to sub in the high school system, and that's what enabled me to move out of my mom's house. 23. And YouTube was the furthest thing from my mind. So it was what, 2013? YouTube was happening, but it was not a thing for me. What advice do you have for young ladies in their 20s trying to figure out themselves, career-wise, solo dates, trying to love themselves and put themselves together? I just combined about 5 different questions there. But sis, you know who you are, you know what you asked me. I'm just gonna hit everything. First, let's hit career. If you are in your early 20s, number 1, do not do what other people want you to do. Don't go for the career that others want for you. If you already got a degree that goes towards something specific, okay, fine. But you are not forced to do that. This is the beginning of your life, baby. The beginning. You have so much more life to live, and I'm only 10 years removed from this, okay? I'm 32. And I already know, like, I have so much more life. Like, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So be very specific about what you want, and don't forget about your passions. If you're passionate about something and you see yourself doing it, start doing it. Even if you gotta do it on the side because of financial reasons. At the end of the day, we work jobs every day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day for the rest of our lives. Until you old and gray. Make it be something that you love, period. And be serious about that in your early 20s, because that's the time to decide if you can. As far as going on solo dates and trying to love yourself and put yourself first, this is the time for you to do that. Because as a woman in my 30s and not realizing this and starting to do this until my late 30s, Lord, I rebuke that. My early 30s. I look back and feel like I wasted a lot of time not focusing on me and not realizing my worth. Whereas had I done that, I could have kept myself from certain situations, kept myself from certain men, kept myself from certain friends. Like, this is the time to really focus on yourself. And I would say prioritize that time. No matter what your schedule looks like, take at least one couple hours out of the week, once a week, to really pour into yourself. Do what you like to do. If you like to paint, do that. If you like to write, do that. If you like to go out to dinner and drink wine and watch your show on your phone like I do that. You know what I'm saying? If you like to light your candle and just like watch your favorite TV show, do that. Like, do something for yourself every week and make that a priority for yourself. Because starting that journey early will make your journey as a woman so much better, because you already know that you can't pour out of a cup that's empty. So you know you got to take care of you before you can get to them. Establish that mindset early. At what point did I decide that it was time for to love myself and put myself first? Was the first practical step that I did in that journey. This was extremely recent for me. Especially being a single mother, I felt like a lot of my life was focused on making sure my baby was okay and less about me, making sure my boyfriend was okay and not so much myself, you know? So I would say this came for me around the age of 29, 30. My point was when I left my ex. I feel like that was the turning point for my life to change completely, because I poured everything into that relationship and did not get it back. And I realized that I'm worthy of more, and that my life in general is going to be so much better if I'm taking care of Maya first, and how important my foundation with me is for everything that branches off from me. That was my moment. And my first practical step was to be serious about the decisions I was making and actually do something about the things that I did not like in my life. The feeling that I was worthy of that came a little bit later, but recognizing that I need to make those decisions in order to get to that worth and that journey for me was what I did. I removed myself from that relationship. I stopped talking to men or to people that did not serve me. I stopped talking bad to myself. Oh my God. The years spent in the bathroom, in the mirror, talking down to myself and feeling bad about me and not liking myself and my body and all of that. I was extremely intentional about stopping all of that behavior so that I can truly start my journey to self-love. It's time to pull back up, sis. Y'all know that Josh brand wine is actually my favorite like store-bought wine. I freaking love it. How did I build my confidence to go on solo dates? I stopped worrying about what other people thought about me, because the truth of the matter is I'm never gonna see them people again. If I'm being completely honest, that's how I build up the confidence, because I just don't care what other people think about me. Like, so what? I don't know you, you don't know me. Mind your business. Because people also ask me that about, you know, taking photos in public. If the people that's staring at you in public while you taking pictures knew how much money you can make by taking pictures of yourself, they'd be doing it too. So that helps me. Because I know what I do, and I know that it affects people. I know the effect it has on people, and that I am here for that positivity. And then I also know how much money I make in my career. So your stares could never bother me. I could care less what you think, okay? This is my livelihood. This is what I do for a living. You have no idea, and that's cool. You keep having no idea. I got an idea. What made me decide to start doing solo dates? What we just talked about, just realizing my importance and that I can't pour from an empty cup. That's what made me realize it on my self-love journey. You guys know I've talked about that I feel like this phase before I moved to Atlanta is my transitional phase of God turning me into the woman he wants me to be for my next phase in life. So for me, that involved spending real time with myself and being okay and comfortable with my own company. And that's really what made me start doing things on my own. And I did have a question asking, you know, what other things can we do in a solo date besides going out to eat? Y'all, we're gonna do other things. I'm actually not doing another solo date until we're doing something else, but it's so cold outside that's what I'll be limited to. There are so many different things that you can do on solo dates besides going to eat. That's just my thing. But we're gonna do lots of other things very, very soon. How do I know it was time to change from the old me into the new me, and what were the signs? In my own personal journey, God had a lot to do with that. Because when you are a woman after God's own heart, a lot of things change. You know how you get on a diet and you're doing real good and eventually like sugar don't look appealing to you? It's like that. So like when I'm going after God's own heart, like suddenly things that I used to do did not seem as appealing to me. Just all types of things in life. It was just a different vibe for me. I also realized that as I matured as a woman, certain things didn't look appealing to me. Being with a man who liked drama was not my idea of a good time. Friends who I know are talking about me behind my back did not seem like a great time to me. It came with the maturity and realizing my worth, I would say. The more I realized that about myself and how important I was, how precious my body was, how good of a person I was and what I deserved, my mindset started to shift. How do you psychologically level up? Because it turns out it's a mental thing too, and it's not an easy thing. I totally agree. A lot of things that we go through, I feel like it's extremely mental. Like we gotta conquer the mind first before we can conquer the body, the physical, the actions. Like we gotta stop thinking in negative ways, I feel. And I wouldn't say there's one way to conquer that. I would say it starts with positive self-talk. Being kinder to yourself, giving yourself more grace, paying attention to how you talk to you, because then psychologically you'll get better at realizing how much you're worth and you'll naturally want to level up. That's what I feel. So it's that intentional steps of looking in the mirror and not being like, oh my God, my arms are so fat. Oh my goodness, I got these bumps on my face. It's more, you're beautiful. Thank you, arms, for picking up stuff all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, just basic stuff to be like super positive starts to make you feel more worthy, and then it helps you to have the mindset of, you know what? Now, let's level this up. Now, I think this needs to be better because I'm more worthy than I thought I was. What are 3 pieces of advice that I would give to younger Maya? If I'm being specific to my life, I would tell younger Maya to, number 1, if you see red flags, run. That has to do with men and friends and whatever else in life. If you see red flags, run. Be trying to change people. I would tell younger Maya that just because you are a young single mother does not mean that your life is over. And it doesn't mean that your life will not be great and grand. And I will also tell younger Maya that regardless of what other people say about you, you are beautiful. Physically, mentally, you got it. You that girl. You that chick. That's what I would say. And spend time figuring out how you are that chick and why you are that chick. It's true, but you gotta know inside why and spend time with yourself to figure out why. That's true. That's what I would tell myself. How did I navigate my early 20s in terms of friendships, finances, and everything like that? I got rid of some friends in my early 20s. That's when I was starting to realize that, you know, I don't have to just take anything that you're throwing at me. Finances, I was broke. How I navigated that was I got on welfare and public assistance to make it to the next day, okay? Or the next month. In my early 20s, I was definitely very far away from who I am now. And I felt like my life looked like it was going in a downward trajectory. So sometimes that really played into how I felt about myself, how I felt about my status, relationship status, motherhood status, financial status. It just was a very dark cloud over me. I went through a lot of stuff. Like, I battled a eating disorder in my early 20s. I just went through a whole lot. But I wish that someone would have told me then that, number one, the 20s ain't it. So don't just get so hung up on your 20s and feeling like life is over. This is terrible. Woo, woo, woo. Life is nowhere near starting. You know what I'm saying? I wish that I would have known that as I navigated through my early 20s, because that would have gave me so much more hope and motivation to really be on top of my stuff and on top of me and pouring into myself, pouring into my daughter, and being more positive about my life. I was very impressionable. Like, I wanted to be like the coolest girl, the cutest girl. I wanted to be popular, like all of that stuff. And now I look back, that just did not matter. It didn't matter at all, like at all. So sis, it don't matter, okay? Be you. Fall into what you like, baby. Love on you. And I know it's harder, way easier said than done, because everyone right now, like in your early 20s, they're like, oh, it matters. You got to be in. You got to be doing this. You got to be doing that. But let me tell you, sis, you ain't gonna know most of them people in 10 years. Do you, sis? Do you? Last but not least, we're gonna talk about some faith questions that you guys asked me. How has your faith grown in the past year? Like I mentioned, I did get saved summer of 2020, and my faith has grown so much since then and in the past year. Because when you put your faith in God and you really allow Him to take hold of your life and do His thing and do what He does best, baby, things just start to work out. And I'm not lying. I say that from experience. So it has definitely built my faith. My prayer life has gotten stronger. My faith in God and what He's doing for me, what He will do for me, has gotten stronger. So yeah, my faith has skyrocketed in the last year for sure. I also have developed trust in God and His plan for my life, because I've seen the path He's had me on and what has happened so far. So I'd be a fool not to have faith in His will for me. Where were you mentally and spiritually when your platform started to experience lots of growth? When my platform went crazy in the summer of 2020, I had just got saved. So I don't think that's a coincidence. I got saved March, April, and I was sitting at like 7,000 subscribers. By August, I had 100K subscribers. Mentally, I had just got out of my relationship. I had just started my Make It for Beginners series. I was in a space of, Maya, you're worth more. Maya, life can be better than what you've experienced. I was in a space where I wanted more. I was desiring more, and then spiritually I wanted more, and I had dedicated my life to Christ. So the Lord showed up for your girl. How do you stay connected to God's word? I make sure that I have my daily devotions, and I'm not gonna lie, some days I fall short of that. Some days I don't prioritize it the way that I should, but I am always thinking about the Lord. I constantly stay connected. I pray throughout the day. I talk to God throughout the day, because I realize that that's a relationship for me. That's how I stay connected, on top of to have like a devotion in the morning to start off my day. Because it gives me the strength that I need to tackle the day ahead of me when I don't even know what's ahead of me. But yeah, y'all, that is actually the end of the questions. I did get some more questions that I was unable to answer, but you know, it's only so many I can answer in this video, and I feel like it's already gonna be like upwards of 45 minutes to an hour. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this chill Q&A, hanging out with your girl, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.